All right, today we're going to be talking all about Cherry Creek North. It's a very affluent but also incredibly popular part of Denver. A lot of great things about Cherry Creek North that I'm excited to share with you. Going to be also doing some map videos, kind of diving in on the street level and sharing some specific parts of town, along with some of my favorite restaurants and places to check out if you're considering Cherry Creek North. Let's go. All right, so before we get started, once again, my name is Adam Lang. I'm a licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado. Love making videos like this, but what I really enjoy is just connecting with viewers like yourselves that are considering moving here to Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. I'm sure there's a few different ways that I could provide some value to you, so I look forward to connecting. Phone number, email, all that info is down below. And also, don't forget, every week I release videos just like this one, so hit that like and that subscribe button. Show me some love, and I look forward to connecting with you guys on the next video as well. But for today, we're going to be talking all about Cherry Creek North, one of my favorite parts of town. A lot of really nice restaurants, very cool architectural, nice homes throughout this area. And it's just a very popular and just awesome part of town. So looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Let's go. Talking all about Cherry Creek North. So Cherry Creek North and Cherry Creek in general have always had a reputation for the entire time that I've lived in Colorado, which is my whole life, 40 years plus now. Cherry Creek has always had a reputation of being very affluent, expensive, very fine dining, high-end restaurants, very expensive high-end shopping. Those are just the first few things that pop into my head, especially when I was younger and didn't know quite as much about the area before I had really done my homework and started exploring Cherry Creek North a little bit more. But while all those things are definitely true, there are still some other things that I really want you to consider and, keep in mind if maybe this is an area that has been on your radar for possible places within Denver to consider living. The three things I'm going to talk about today are three of the ones that I feel are, to me, the most important or have the highest value when it comes to Cherry Creek North. And that's going to be number one, just the walkability. So just how easy it is to get around within Cherry Creek North and enjoy all that it has to offer very easily on foot by walking. Second thing we're going to talk about is just the social life. So somebody that is considering parts of town and maybe you're a young professional or you're kind of past that first phase of being an adult where you want to go out to the bars until 2 a.m. You're wanting still some form of nightlife and social life, but maybe that's not quite what you're looking for. Cherry Creek North is a great option for that. And then number three, the third and final thing I'm going to talk about is just location. Where it's located within Denver and just some of the benefits of where it's located when it comes to commuting for work and just getting around. So those are the three things we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, just want to explain a little bit on a map here, just the location and where Cherry Creek North specifically is located. So Cherry Creek North, they're basically, the same area. Cherry Creek North is just referring to basically that northern part of Cherry Creek. So just north of Cherry Creek. There's also the Cherry Creek Mall, and Cherry Creek North is just literally right across the street from that. So it is kind of the same area, Cherry Creek North and the mall. The mall, I bring that up because that's something that most locals and just people that have lived in Colorado and in Denver for at least a year or two, they're all going to be very familiar with the Cherry Creek Mall. So when we talk about Cherry Creek North, it's basically just that commercial retail district of Cherry Creek. It literally is north of Cherry Creek. When you're looking at the boundaries and where the Cherry Creek North portion is specifically, there's not an exact definition of where that is, but just for, from a map point of view perspective, we're looking at basically from 1st Street to 3rd or 4th Street and from University over to, I would say, Steel Street. So that would just kind of be the rough boundaries of Cherry Creek North, but we're going to go into that in a little bit more depth here in a minute as we go into a map view on Google Maps. Looking forward to sharing that with you here in a minute. Going into though, number one, the first reason why I think this is such a great part of town, Cherry Creek North, and that's the walkability. So as I mentioned a second ago, I'm speaking from experience here. After college, it's fun living downtown or living somewhere where there is a more lively nightlife scene, especially for that younger demographic where you're going out till 2 in the morning and walking around to the different bars and all that fun stuff. That was a great time of my life, but that's not something that I really look forward to or have any desire to do nowadays other than maybe once or twice a year. So when I'd say walkability within Cherry Creek North, what's so great is in a very, very confined space, meaning only a few blocks, you have so many options. A lot of these are pretty expensive, upscale, destination restaurants, shopping, all that kind of stuff, but you do really have a very full list of places to choose from. If you are, looking for still some social life and just the ability to walk walk everywhere. You still want to have a few drinks and have some fun. What's so nice about Cherry Creek North is you literally can walk really, anywhere that you're going to try and get to is walkable. And you're walking on very nice streets, very upkept, well-maintained roads, nice sidewalks, very safe as far as, there's very, just homelessness or just people, panhandling or just kind of, I hate to use the word, but just riffraff, just situations or scenarios walking home at night after, the bars or after a few drinks at dinner. You're not going to feel threatened or really concerned when you're living in this Cherry Creek North area. I think that's something that's really important, especially if you're, a single person or maybe a female and just have that as a high priority of where you want to live, that safety and security of the neighborhood you're in. Cherry Creek North is definitely high on that list when it comes to that. Just again, another reason why the walkability of Cherry Creek North is so great. In addition to walking to these really nice restaurants, really nice bars, and just shopping in the kind of the retail district of Cherry Creek North, you can literally go across the street and you're also at Cherry Creek Mall, which is arguably the best mall in Colorado. I would say kind of the most popular malls are going to be Cherry Creek Mall, Flatirons Mall, and Park Meadows. In my opinion, those would kind of be the three top malls. Cherry Creek, though, has always just been around. It's just a very popular staple as all of the, the very high-end stores, everything you're looking for if you're a shopper, and that's something that you like to do. So there's also probably the best Whole Foods in all of the state of Colorado right here in Cherry Creek North. In fact, it's just so busy and popular that they actually a couple years ago built an enormous parking garage just to help with the traffic and the overflow of visitors there. So it now is very easy and convenient, just if you are driving, just to pull right in, or again, just that walkability piece that we're talking about right now. You can walk to Whole Foods in a 5-minute walk from most places in Cherry Creek North. The walkability is definitely very, very good here in Cherry Creek. I will say with walkability, there is also some farmers markets and different, events throughout the year in Cherry Creek where they shut down a few of the streets and have pedestrian, events. So, again, from a walkability standpoint, that's great. Very easy to access. Also a lot of fun. They have some really good ones around Christmas time. It's a fun place to go if you want to get a few Christmas presents that aren't something that people are probably used to receiving or expecting. So definitely keep your eye out for that come the holiday season. So if you like going out to eat, you like shopping, even if you don't like shopping, I'd say more importantly is just you like the ability to get around and just walk to your fitness class for the day, be able to walk over and grab a lunch somewhere, go have a drink after work at an après spot. All of that is so easily done and probably the most convenient and available out of almost any neighborhood in all of Denver, which again is why Cherry Creek is one of the most walkable neighborhoods in Denver. Before we move on to my second point, which is again the social life, I also am going to do a quick map video. So check this out really quick. I'm going to go into kind of a street level view and show you a few of my favorite restaurants and just give you a perspective on the ground level of how walkable this place really is. All right, guys, so here we are in a map view just on Google Maps. And what I want to show you is a couple quick things. So first and foremost, just where specifically Cherry Creek is located. So Cherry Creek North, if we just zoom in a little bit here, you can see downtown Denver here. That's Coors Field. You've got, the Broncos Stadium is right here. This is Sloan's Lake. So you've just got kind of all the main part of downtown right here, which is just north of Cherry Creek. You can see here Cherry Creek Shopping Center, and that would be your best reference point when we're talking about Cherry Creek North specifically, because Cherry Creek North is just the 3 to 4 blocks of retail and shopping and a few streets of residential homes, all just right in that area. If we just zoom in a little bit, you can see again, Cherry Creek is right here. Denver Country Club is a very highly regarded club, golf course just west of Cherry Creek North and Cherry Creek. And then you've also got a lot of just other great stuff all around this specific area. You've got Wash Park, you've got all this, great stuff just north of Cherry Creek, like the zoo, City Park, Denver Botanical Gardens. And as you can see, all of this stuff is very easily accessible by, definitely by car, but even by bike or, some of the rideshare scooters, or you could even walk if you just had enough time. You can also see right here, you've got this East Spirit Boulevard. This is one of the easiest ways to get in and out of Cherry Creek if you are trying to commute to the airport or just get up to even the mountains and get over to I-70. What we're going to do here though is we're going to click Street View, and I'm just going to zoom in and I'm going to show you specifically the Cherry Creek Mall. So, hold on, let me zoom out really quick. We're gonna do that one more time. We're gonna go right here. Okay. So guys, as you can see, a lot of the streets within Cherry Creek are very retail focused. So very high-end retail. You can see, just as you look in here, just some of the nice stores here. But before we do that though, I'm just going to show you. So right across the street here, this is First Avenue. Right across, this is the Cherry Creek Mall. You can see there are very high-end stores. This is a very busy road, but there's a lot going on. You've got a lot of shopping options and dining on both sides of First Avenue. On the south, you've got the mall, and then on the north, you have these really great streets, tons of other options. So I'm just gonna go down a block really quick just to show you one of my favorite buildings, which is this Restoration Hardware. Check out this building, just to give you a perspective and an idea of how high-end and how this really is almost like a Beverly Hills of Denver. This enormous building here, I thought this was some sort of apartment building or even some very high-end single-family home that somebody owned that was kind of grandfathered into this location. But it's actually a Restoration Hardware, which is predominantly furniture. It's incredible, the building. I mean, I know it's hard to kind of see from a picture, but incredible. Very, very nice. Big rooftop up here. Just as an example of the kind of stores that you're going to see. I can see right here a pretty nice sports car. But as you go down these streets, you're going to notice, really nice, well-kept streets, nice paved stone road here. In some of these streets, you're going to see some mixed use where you've got retail on the ground level and then hotels or apartments up above. So just as an example, we'll see one right here. This is the residences. But what I'm going to do is actually go over a block. So you can tell this is basically a very specific kind of, 4 blocks or so and about 3 to 4 streets from First over to about 4th, where you just have a ton of this kind of stuff. So I'm going to go over here to, what is this? This is Milwaukee. We're going to go up one more. Over here, what is this? This is, so here's an example. Piatti's is a really nice restaurant. Some of these hotels just have great restaurants within them as well. One of my favorite restaurants is right here, Del Frisco's. Got a great rooftop up here as well. One of the best steaks in town. You can also go over one more block. Let's see if it lets us go through the alley here. Might not. Let's see here. There we go. A little shortcut here. It's actually where my girlfriend actually lives, is in one of these buildings over here. Very, very nice high-end apartments. We go to this boxing class right here, which, let's see if it's, it might not even be here on this one. I think it's in this building right here. It's called Rumble. So that's a really fun business, a really cool way to work out. Check that out if you've never done that before. But hopefully this just gives you a little bit of a perspective again of just how nice these streets are. Actually, here's where Rumble is right here. So, yep, it hasn't been put in yet when this video was created or when this Google Maps was created. But, really, really nice open streets. So right now we're going up to 2nd. And you can see here, if I just keep going down one of these side streets, this is Steel. So if I just keep taking Steel from 1st to 2nd to 3rd. And now right here, we're going to be crossing 3rd Ave. Once you cross 3rd Ave, you're going to start seeing some of the homes. So as you can see here, really nice mix of homes. You've got obviously a bungalow style, probably from the mid-50s, 40s, still original, hasn't really been, lost to development yet. Probably a, person that's owned this for a long, long time. You can see though how different all of the homes are, which I love. I love just the diversity from one home to the next. You can see, the next one over, go up here a little bit. You can just see, a little bit more variety of types of homes. And some of these homes are spectacular. So here's a really good example. So here you've got a much more modern style home that's probably been built in the last 10 to 15 years. And then, right across is 4th Street. So we're kind of going up to that 5th Street, which is kind of the cutoff that I was mentioning. But you can see also, though, a lot of other styles of homes too, really nice, modern, contemporary. We've also, though, got, some just larger, more traditional style homes. Let's do one more block and then I'll get out of this view. So you can just see here, though, some very, very nice homes. These are all, I would say at the low end, 2 million, going up to probably 3.5, maybe even pushing 4.5 on some of these really nice homes. So convenience and location is a big part of the value of real estate in Cherry Creek North. And again, that comes all back to the main point of what this first part of the video is all about, which is walkability. So people that live in this neighborhood, you really don't have to get in your car unless you're driving somewhere else for, something else going on. But what I'm getting at is if you are just going out to eat, or you just want to have your workout, your fitness routine, your working out, your restaurants, all that kind of stuff is all walkable from Cherry Creek North, which is something that people are more and more now really putting a lot of value on. This is kind of like a urban type environment. However, you have, again, just within a couple blocks, a much more neighborhood type feel. We'll go back now to the rest of the video, and I look forward to talking a little bit more about this with you. Bye. All right, guys, so going right into number 2, social life. And this is very, in my opinion, kind of going along with my first point, which is, again, walkability. But when I say social life, what I mean by this is a couple things. First off, just the demographic of people that live in Cherry Creek and Cherry Creek North, depending on where you are in life, and I'm not trying to stereotype or put people into certain kind of buckets here, but speaking, again, personally from my experience, once you are, again, through that first phase after going to college, or just kind of after you turn 21, you go out to 2 in the morning and enjoy that kind of nightlife. After you're out of that phase, Cherry Creek North is such a social place to live or just to visit because you have, again, just so many options. Great restaurants, great places to work out, really, trendy fitness classes. There's one that I've been going to recently with my girlfriend called Rumble Boxing. There's also, different types of climb, which is like a stair type, ladder type workout. There's yoga, everything you can think of in very classy type establishments. All of that's available to you, which again is another nice social activity if you're not into the night stuff with drinking and going out. I also will say though, when it comes to social life, that just the other people that you're going to be surrounding yourself with are also like-minded and also probably, fairly successful and, hustlers. They're hardworking and just people that are really, taking pride in being successful and doing something with their lives because it is a little bit more expensive neighborhood to live in. What's so cool though, in my opinion, is since it is such a confined small area, meaning only, again, a few blocks, you are going to start to, really recognize a lot of the same faces. And it does almost have that small town feel within, a very big city of Denver. I really like that. I think anywhere that I live, I always really appreciate when you walk down the street and you just see people that you recognize, you're able just to wave and kind of just, have that little bit more higher level of friendliness and community than you, unfortunately, you don't see that often anymore. So when you do, you really appreciate it. Cherry Creek North definitely has some of that. I would almost relate it in some regards to like Beverly Hills, but for mountain people. So you still have, the really high-end shopping and just that upscale feel. However, you're with people from Colorado who are a little bit more active, outdoorsy. Some of the shops and the just stuff going on is a little bit more catered towards that outdoor active lifestyle. Lululemon and different stores like that are activewear and outdoor type retail stores. There's also some extremely high-end, very cool furniture stores. So definitely check out. There's one called Our House, ARHAUS, and there's also an incredible restoration hardware that looks like its own historic mansion. It's actually connected to the Cherry Creek Mall. I didn't even know what it was for the first few years until finally I asked my mom and she explained that it was a furniture store that looks, it's incredible. So there again are just so many really established, high-end, really cool places within Cherry Creek North when it comes to shopping. So one last thing on social life, diving a little bit deeper into restaurants and some of my favorites. Again, I've spent a lot of time in Cherry Creek North, especially over the past year, and I love exploring and just testing out different restaurants, and there are so many to choose from when it comes to this part of town. Honestly, every weekend you could pick a new restaurant and you'd be good for a good 6 months trying a new one every weekend. So spend a little bit of money doing that, but I'm just saying there are a lot of options. A few of my favorites, best steak in all of Colorado, in my opinion. I know that's a very bold statement, but I'll definitely put it in the top 3 and probably actually is my number 1 is Elway's. If you are from Denver, or at least you're familiar with Denver football, the Denver Broncos, our star quarterback for many, many years, John Elway, he opened up a few different steakhouses around town. Actually, the coach of the Broncos, Mike Shanahan, also has a couple steakhouses, which is, I would say, also in that top 3. But Elway's is also connected to that Cherry Creek Mall, so it's in that Cherry Creek North area, but they make a phenomenal steak. Also a really good restaurant because it is a little bit pricey, but there always seems to be availability. A lot of these other restaurants in Cherry Creek North, you got to make reservations a few days in advance, especially for the weekend. With Elway's, it's always a sure thing. If you're out of options, they're going to have a table available. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just they just have more seating or what's going on there, but just a little side note and tip for you if you are considering going out to eat in Cherry Creek North. Another one of my favorites is Del Frisco's. They also have a great steak, but they're also just a really good overall restaurant. It's within right in the downtown part of Cherry Creek North. Just really good atmosphere, really good place to grab dinner, and then you can just walk right next door. There's a couple other places immediately next to Del Frisco's for a really good nightcap or just a couple drinks after or even before dinner. They make really good espresso martinis. There's also a restaurant called the Cherry Cricket. It's one of probably the most famous restaurants in all of Cherry Creek. It's just been around forever. Very successful. They've actually expanded now. There's one in downtown Littleton. I think there's actually another one somewhere down south, but they always have in the city of Denver every year this competition and just this kind of ranking of the best burger in all of Denver. Cherry Cricket won it this year, 2023, and I know they've won it in the past as well. So if you're looking for the best burger in town, definitely check out the Cherry Cricket. It's not as formal and fancy as some of these other places that I've mentioned, so it's really good if just you're looking for a little bit more casual of a place. But again, this place gets very, very busy, so you're definitely going to want to make reservations quite a bit ahead of time. And then last but not least, I'm going to share with you another restaurant that I've always admired and had a really good experience every time I've gone, and that's Matsuhisa. When I lived up in Aspen for a long time, there was a Matsuhisa in Aspen, and that's where I learned about it and kind of got hooked on it. Some of the best sushi in all of, probably the world, to be honest, outside of going to Japan. But Matsuhisa is a great option. There's a bar seating, which isn't quite as formal and fancy, and get in and out a little bit quicker. Definitely be prepared to spend a little bit of money, but you will have some of the best sushi you've ever had. So definitely check out Matsuhisa. Again, last little bit about social life. I want to talk about just some of the parks and the outdoor options that are available when you live in Cherry Creek North. The first is just that you're very close to a lot of the best parks in Denver, one of those being Wash Park. So within about a 5-minute drive from Cherry Creek North, you can get to Wash Park. Wash Park is very social. Go out there on a summer evening, you'll probably see, a couple hundred people out there playing volleyball, badminton, just different games out on the big field, walking their dogs, having picnics, having some drinks. Just a great park, really nice views. There's 2 different lakes there that are really fun just to walk around. So Wash Park's a great option. You also have Cherry Creek Reservoir. So in the summertime, find a friend that has a speedboat, meet them over at Cherry Creek Reservoir. It's again only about a 10-minute drive from Cherry Creek North. Really nice reservoir, good water skiing lake. Just again, another nice place to be outside. We don't have a ton of water ski lakes in Denver, really in Colorado in general. So Cherry Creek's one of the best options. In Denver, you're really just going to be looking at Cherry Creek or Chatfield. Those are the 2 main water skiing lakes. And they get very, very busy on the weekends. So if you have the ability to, try go on a weeknight or at least sometime where it's not peak season, just for safety reasons and also just to enjoy it a little bit more. And then the last thing when I'm talking about outdoor activities, the Platte River. So the Platte River basically goes from Cherry Creek Reservoir all the way to downtown Denver, and it even goes further than that. And basically it's just this continuous paved sidewalk where you're able to, get on your bike or just go for a walk. But I like to do it on a bike because you can cover more ground, and you can just go right from Cherry Creek North, downtown Denver. If you wanted to, for example, take your bike, go down to downtown Denver, catch the Rockies game and ride home. Or if you just want to, go out for a 10 or a 15-mile bike ride, very easy to do so when you're on that Platte River Trail. It basically just skirts right up next to Spear Boulevard during the section of the Cherry Creek portion of the Platte River Trail. So definitely check out some of those outdoor activities. But again, guys, lots of social life when it comes to Cherry Creek North, a lot of great options and just different things that, in my opinion, make it so special. All right, guys, so we're back again in another Google Map view. This one's going to be quick. I just wanted to share a few of my favorite spots to check out when we're talking about social life. Again, my second point of why I love Cherry Creek North is the social life that it affords people, especially if you're in a place in your life where you're not looking for the out till 2 a.m. nightlife scene that downtown Denver and a few other places provide. With Cherry Creek North, you just have a lot of really nice restaurants. And also, before we dig into a few restaurants, just some great outdoor spaces, parks, just places to go and have maybe some beers at, sunset with friends, or maybe go do one of these rec leagues where you're playing volleyball or doing some sort of an intramural sport. But as you can see, Whole Foods is right here. This is the Cherry Creek Mall right here, and this is all Cherry Creek North that we're looking at right down here. So if I zoom out just a little bit more, you can see that just to the west, so we're looking kind of reverse here, we're upside down, so to speak. So to make it a little bit easier to understand, just off to just about a mile from Cherry Creek North is the Denver Country Club, which is a very prestigious private club. But if you also notice, there's some other great parks around here. Congress Park is very popular. That's right down here. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit here. Congress Park is great, and especially Cheeseman Park. Cheeseman Park is another one that a lot of people really regard as one of their favorite parks in all of Denver. Very accessible if you live in Cherry Creek North. And right between Congress Park and Cheeseman, you also have the Denver Botanic Gardens. Certain times of year, this is an awesome place to check out. Wintertime, they have an incredible Christmas light installation where all throughout their entire gardens, there's really very unique and just very different ways to see the Christmas lights, which is definitely high on my list recommendations. And then also you can notice that a little bit further away, you've got City Park. Again, though, this is all within just a couple miles. At City Park, you've got the Denver Zoo. You've got City Park itself, which is a very large park. Just some other really good stuff around here. And then up a little bit further, the other direction from Denver, from Cherry Creek North, is Wash Park. Wash Park's another really popular one. So just a couple parks just to share with you guys, just so you understand that. But as far as restaurants and just the social life right within walking distance of Cherry Creek North, first spot I want to show you is the Cherry Cricket. So the Cherry Cricket is great. It's been around forever, and it actually has kind of the notoriety of winning the best burger in all of Denver. I think it's actually won several times, but I know for sure that it just won this past year in 2023. So something kind of cool just to have right there within Cherry Creek North. But let's just go ahead and we're going to zoom in on, let's see here, where is it? Just for fun, guys, I'm just going to have the Cherry Cricket. There we go. So I got kind of mixed up there when I was doing the map view. So we're going to go ahead and just do a street level view here. Looks like we're actually in the alley here, but let's see here. Okay, guys, so I got a little goofed up there. I was trying to find where the Cherry Cricket was on this map view, but 2nd Avenue right here. So this is just an example of, again, best burger in town. Just a, kind of a neighborhood staple. Just, a little bit packed and crowded on the inside, but it's, you're not going there necessarily for the to be seen type environment like some of the more high scale spots in Cherry Creek North, but definitely an amazing burger. So check that out. And then another one I'm going to share with you. If we zoom out a little bit here. So a lot of these hotels, they have really good restaurants in them. North Italia is a very expensive, but very, very highly regarded restaurant. That would be another one that I would recommend. But if we just zoom out one more, you can see the Cherry Creek Mall over here. So right over here is Matsuhisa. So Matsuhisa is one of my 2 favorite sushi spots in all of Colorado. Matsuhisa has locations all over the world. There's even a casino and a big hotel in Vegas at this point. But Matsuhisa is a great option. It's expensive also, but again, a lot of the restaurants in Cherry Creek are. My favorite is another sushi spot in Denver. It's actually in the River North Rhino area, and it's known as Uchi, U-C-H-I. Check that one out too if you guys are looking for another great spot for sushi. But there are just tons of good restaurants and social life spots in Cherry Creek North. Not a ton of late night, club type environments, but just a lot of really good trendy restaurants. A lot of lounges within some of these, again, fancy hotels. Just a lot of spots that are really fun to hang out in. So that would be a couple of my favorites. And I'll just share with you one other one. Okay, guys. So again, we're right by the mall here. So I just jumped down a couple streets from where we were a second ago. We were down at this end earlier at Matsuhisa. So about 3 blocks over. And, I take that back. I'm sorry. Matsuhisa is not 3 blocks over. Matsuhisa is right here. So right here is Matsuhisa that I was just showing you. And in the mall, there's a couple really good restaurants that are attached to the mall. One of them is, Happy Child's a more informal, just, good food, healthy food. But over here, we've got, at the end of the mall on this side, we've got Kona Grill. Awesome, awesome spot. Also expensive, but not quite as high as some of these other ones. CPK, California Pizza Kitchen's nice to go to in a pinch. This 801 Chop House is a great one. But my favorite steak in all of Denver is just one more block over here, also attached to the mall, but on the other side of the mall. And that is down here, and it is known as Elway's. So if you are a football fan, if you like the NFL, and you happen to be a Denver Broncos fan, I'm sure the name Elway will ring a bell with you. That was our star quarterback. He has done a ton of different business ventures since retiring. One of those being really, really good steakhouses. There's a couple of them. One in Cherry Creek. There's also one downtown Denver in the Ritz-Carlton. But this restaurant is just always reliable. One of the best steaks you'll ever have. And one of my favorites in all of Colorado to check out and just go to for a special dinner, every once in a while. So definitely check out Elway's. Okay, now back to the rest of the video. All right, so guys, third and final reason is just gonna be location. So looking at a map, Cherry Creek is in a really advantageous part of Denver, just a little bit south of downtown, easy to get to. If you work downtown and you live in Cherry Creek, as long as you're not going during the peak time of day, it's gonna take you under 15 minutes to get there. If it is peak time of day, just kind of be aware of that and ideally, try and maybe take a different path to get home, but it's very close. It also is, I guess in one regard, it's got some benefit being close to downtown, but the one negative I will say, it's not immediately located next to any of the major thoroughfares. So I-25 and I-70 are our two primary highways. Neither of those are immediately next to Cherry Creek. So you're gonna have to take probably a 5 to 7 minute drive just to get onto one of these highways. So again, if you're needing to get there on a daily basis and needing to use these highways, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more time just getting there. Overall, I think Cherry Creek North and Cherry Creek in general, it's a great location. From a real estate perspective, Cherry Creek North is awesome just because you do have this location that is incredibly affluent and just continues to get more and more updated, and just, $1 million houses are getting bought out and scraped and they're building $3 million houses, or they're buying, 1970s or 1960s vintage homes and popping them on, putting a pop top on them, expanding them, just really upgrading and just making every single home on the block very high end, top notch. If you are able to get into this neighborhood, you're going to have a lot of appreciation around you just by everybody else doing, making significant efforts to improve their properties, which ideally will also improve the value of yours as well. There's a few blocks that are really fun to walk around and just admire just because of how different the architecture is from one house to the next. You've got modern style homes, contemporary style homes, you've got more traditional style homes. You really have everything that you can think of from high-end builds as far as, nicer homes, but you also have a few different options when it comes to apartments, especially in that downtown part of Cherry Creek North, some high-rise buildings. But outside of the apartments and single-family homes, you're not going to see too much when it comes to, large acreage homes with a large lot. You're not going to see a ton of townhomes. It really is kind of limited just to, some nice single-family homes and then some multifamily, so some apartments. A lot of the apartments are also in mixed-use areas where you have retail on the ground level and then living up above there. So really, again, great for people that are wanting that taste of kind of an urban type feel, but still in a place that's very, safe and just convenient with a lot of options. In addition to that, guys, last thing I'll say about location, you are still in a part of Denver that is a little bit more on the western side as far as skiing and just getting up to the mountains. You're not nearly as far away as you would be living down south in Castle Rock or way out east in Aurora. So you are in a place that's pretty convenient when it comes to, getting out of the downtown Denver and downtown, Cherry Creek North area, just getting out west to the mountains. If that's important to you, you're going up to the mountains on a regular basis, that time does matter. I think this is an area that you kind of are the best of both worlds. It's not as close as Golden or Applewood or Wheat Ridge, some of these other far west neighborhoods, but you are still in a place that's close enough. It's still pretty convenient when it comes to getting out of town for the weekend or even just for an afternoon. All right, so there you have it, Cherry Creek North. Wow, what an awesome part of town. Definitely hope you gained a few tidbits of information about why I personally think this is such an awesome part of Denver. Definitely make sure you guys don't forget, reach out to me, phone, email, text, whatever's most convenient to you. Would love just to learn again a little bit more about if this area specifically interests you, or if there's just some other parts of town that I haven't explored yet on video that you might want to learn a little bit more about. So we'd love just to find out how I can provide some value to you. But until next time, guys, hit that like and that subscribe button. Releasing a new video every single week, and I look forward to seeing you then. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.